is up, sexy people of the internet? It is Dave. It is Duncan.
You've got to move your hand down before the balloons come up.
I just realised that.
You're like, hello.
All will be revealed. So, welcome back to another review. On this review, Duncan and I have been checking out the new EP from UK death metal quartet Beyond Grace. The band's new EP, Welcome to the New Dark Ages, EP1, will be released on November 24th.
They better follow up one EP2. See bands that do that EP thing and then they don't give you the second thing. I'm looking at you, Limp Bizkit, with your Volume 1 album, which never got a Volume 2.
Alright.
Fuck those guys.
Feel a wee bit better about that, are we?
Hey, listen, they jump right from that right into the Golden Cobra. You never jump right into the Golden Cobra.
God, that was shite. Anyway, formed in 2014, Nottingham death metal band Beyond Grace will follow up their 2021 album, Our Kingdom Undone, with something a little different. Following their split from Prosthetic Records at the end of 2022, the band knew they needed to do something differently. The industry had changed, the musical landscape was still in flux, and the group themselves had experienced a series of trials, tribulations and tragedies which had changed them in turn if they were to survive and keep moving forward. Loving the press release, Lisa, so far. All good.
Is this a Lisa one?
Yeah.
Well done, Lisa. Once again, you are challenging Dave's linguistic skills.
Perfect.
You're being playful. You mentioned COVID, but not in a way which was like, due to COVID, you didn't do that. You didn't fall into the trap.
No. Well played. Well played. Thus, the seeds for the band's third album, Welcome to the New Dark Ages, were sown. Eschewing the standard album cycle, Welcome to the Dark Ages will be released as a series of 3 digital EPs.
Smart move. Beyond Grace, listen, you know what? For that, I'm gonna give you one of these.
Oh.
What? It didn't work. Didn't work. I'm gonna give you one of these hands. Let me give you a hand.
Is it not a
I
finger?
think it's that. Yeah, isn't it?
Ah,
I'm
there
going to
we
give
go.
you celebratory balloons,
There we
and
go.
I'm also going to give you streamers as
well.
well. Love hearts
Right,
out of nowhere.
Easy now.
And then I'm going to give you a wee thumbs up while we're at it. Hopefully the thumbs up works. It's not going to work, is it? You son of a... I think it's this one.
Hey, there we go.
You got them all. You got all
one.
the weird stuff that my computer is trying to force upon me, making me not a real human.
Anyway, each of these EPs will also
Each of these reactional emojicon things. Each
will
of these
also
EPs.
include an exclusive cover track, as well as eye-catching artwork.
You just like pretending just this is like an ordinary cover. There's no. This is Duncan's wheelhouse right now. You are swimming in my pool, and guess what? I'm not even mad about it.
Each EP will also have some eye-catching artwork from Gary Ronaldson of Byte Radius Designs, known for his work with the likes of Napalm Death, Misery Index, Benighted, and more. All culminating in a physical release which will collect the entire saga together in one cohesive whole.
The entire. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
I don't know what happened there. I just aged about 40 years there when I just started. Anyway, the idea behind this approach is, of course, that a lot of listeners prefer to access their music digitally these days, and so these fans, both new and old, will be able to get the EPs, and when they're released, without having to wait, while those who still carry a torch for classical physical formats will be able to hear the album in stages prior to its full release, and so know exactly what they're getting for their collection. Part 1 features 3 brand new tracks, as well as the band's crushingly creative cover of Peter Gabriel's Here Comes the Flood.
Oh, Ralphie's Cars album. Oh, 1977 never sounds so fucking heavy, Dave. Fucking heavy. Shot the fucking monkey. Eh?
Oh.
What?
Whether this
Here
is
we
the
go.
beginning of a whole new era or simply the soundtrack to the end of the world as we know it, one thing is for certain, this is Beyond Grace at their very best. So,
Yep. hits you like a sledgehammer.
Oh, look at you linking and shit.
I know, hey? What am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Too good for this, Duncan. Too good for this place.
I shouldn't even be here.
You shouldn't.
This could be the genesis of a really interesting review sequence.
Took it one step too far there.
Too far, rein it back.
We know. Okay, we know.
We don't know, Dave.
We know. You know.
I know.
You know that I, not the biggest fan of EPs. Not the biggest fan.
Dave has, well, take a second, put the soapbox out. Dave has an irrational phobia of the EP. It doesn't make any sense when you are given so much music to listen to in long format. An EP is a lovely palate cleanser. Dare I say, it's a little bit of musical sorbet. Dances on the tongue, clears the palate, gets you ready for something a bit more intricate. And I like bands, like, see, if it's a needless EP, if it's like that, here's an EP full of cover songs and B-sides, like that, yeah, get that in the bin with thee. But if it's you know what, we have a 3-story arc here. The full album is coming out, but by the way, guys, you're going to get these 3 installments. They're going to give you different things that piece together, come together like a Power Ranger collective into mega whatever it was. I don't know. I was like, it's gonna come together to become like some sort of like marauding giant mechanical killing machine. Then I'm down for that, Dave. If you bring those EPs together and it gives you satisfaction, you cannot complain. You are a distant fan, are you not?
A distant.
Is this not the distant model? We'll give you an EP, we'll give you another EP, and then we'll give you an album, which is essentially the 2 EPs plus an EP. Right? The difference being these guys are saying up front, you know what, Dave? EP.
I like it.
Full thing together.
Honestly.
So I'm just saying, at least they're honest with you.
At least that. I mean, I'm as excited about EPs as I am about prison sex, to be honest, Duncan. But actually,
you're not doing it right if you're not excited about it.
But when they mentioned this is part of a bigger,
big picture, Dave, always big picture.
Yeah.
EPs are historically EPs are transitional releases.
Yes,
they're little morsels to get you excited about something bigger. In today's climate, actually, EPs work a lot better than albums, and I'm glad that the band know for a fact that that's the market. What they're going to do, they're going to say our album comes out next year, here's 5 singles in the next year, so you've listened to half of it. At least they're like that. We know how listeners listen to music. I wish more bands did this than what I get from a lot of bands, which is I've heard half the album, then the album comes out, and I'm like, yay, there's all this stuff in between.
True that.
Yeah, I know.
Secondly, I do love
Is this the second point? Oh, that was point 1. 5 minutes.
Like Billy Connolly. And finally,
strap in, Lisa. This is one of these ones you're really going to have to mine for.
Kilimanjaro. I don't know. Secondly,
dude, if I had thought for like about 20 days about possible words that might come up in this review, Kilimanjaro was not one of them. So, in a million years, like honestly, would never have. Anyway.
Secondly, I do love a wee cover song. I have to admit, I
love Peter Gabriel cover songs. I love anything like, see a Genesis cover or a Peter Gabriel cover makes me happy. Phil Collins, not so much.
Whoa. Don't speak.
Phil Collins covers are never great.
Phil Collins.
A Phil Collins cover is never great.
It's Phil Collins though.
Right. Phil Collins is fine. A Phil Collins cover.
What's wrong with Phil Collins
never
cover?
Great. Bands can never really sound like Phil Collins.
Oh, you mean a band covering Phil Collins?
Yeah, a Phil Collins cover.
I think you meant Phil Collins covering someone else.
We're talking about Peter, like you are. You've had enough. Right? Put this review down and go to bed. Right? I've had enough of this.
Right, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, like Peter Gabriel stuff lends itself. He's a bit more proggy, so it lends itself a bit more to interpretation.
I see what you mean.
Where Phil Collins is a bit too poppy does not lend itself to interpretation.
He's an easy lover.
You are an easy lover.
Prison sex.
Prison sex.
So anyway, the EP.
You don't want to go into prison. You don't want to go to prison to do a sentence and be nicknamed Easy Lover. Fucking arsehole like a windsock. You know what I mean?
Oh Jesus. Right. Okay.
Hippo yawning. Anyway,
we're 10 minutes in. That's about half the length of the EP already.
Yes.
And I've not even spoken about any songs yet.
Congratulations.
If you've made it this far, well done.
What about to talk about the music?
4 tracks.
After Dave's third point.
4 tracks. 20 minutes. So, nice and to the point, unlike this review. It's progressive, technical, death metal, but neatly packaged. Yeah, the cover song is actually the longest track on this EP, just under 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the 3 originals. Let's get into the original shit here.
Oh, right.
Duncan, I really like this type of death metal. I'm going to be the first to say it. I do. People out there know it. You know it, and I know it.
I do know it.
My neighbours know it. I like this type of death metal.
Your kid knows it. Your kid's friends that are coming over for a sleepover know it. She's not happy about that.
They're never coming back for another sleepover. This is not the standard meat and tatties death metal, Duncan. This is not.
That is meat and potatoes for those not of a Scottish persuasion.
Thank you for the translation.
You're very welcome,
Duncan. This is death metal with plenty going on, plenty twists and turns, plenty switch ups coming at you left, coming at you right. But
these guys been on your radar, just
Duncan,
out of interest.
Interestingly, I thought they were American.
That's our second Nottingham band as well tonight.
Oh yes, it is.
Fucking hell, Nottingham.
It is.
What's going on down there?
What's going on in Nottingham, Duncan?
Hey, the sheriff. Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest.
Okay. So
he's a robber from the rich to give to the poor.
Thanks for that, Duncan.
Thank you.
A little nugget of information there.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get back to
let's review
this
at
EP.
12 minutes.
This comes with a nice dose of a kind of melancholic kind of melody in there as well, which I quite like. I think
unexpected for those that have never listened to them before. Me, I caught me on the back foot.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of like when I was listening to it, I was thinking if you like a bit of like Black Crown Initiate or Rivers of Nihil, then this is probably something you want to give a wee listen to. It's got that like heavily progressive feel in the guitar work. Drumming is very intricate, playing with various like bass drum patterns, little accents on the cymbals, but also jumps into like the kind of pummeling groove realm as well, and nightmarish kind of blast beats. I particularly love the kind of switch on the first track, the Burning Season. It kind of takes a detour into something very kind of blackened in the guitars, these like furious blasts. But the way that they kind of bring it back to something quite grounded and groovy, that's what kind of hooks you in. And I like that kind of little blackened flourish. The EP does have some nice surprises I wasn't expecting, including some of that well-placed melody, and that kind of Black Crown Initiate type style. You've also got a little bit of kind of symphonic instrumentation, just raising the kind of grandeur levels up in places as well. And I think it all adds to the appeal of this EP. I feel like they've done a good job in picking 3 tracks that give you a little bit of something different. Small like dashes of something distinctive to make each track stand out on its own. I really like the melody on Buyer's Remorse, which is probably the most kind of proggy of the 3 tracks. Mm-hmm. But the melody had a great hook to it, while being still very like dark and gloomy. And I thought it was quite a cool idea just to have that melody on 2 of the tracks, and then leave the 3rd track to be a bit more kind of guttural and intense. It kind of stopped the EP from sounding like it was just repeating itself or like reusing the same formula. And those 3 tracks definitely got me excited to hear the next installment. The 3 tracks they picked go very well together, so I'm interested to see whether they are going to run in that order on the album or if they are going to be kind of mixed in with other tracks. So yeah, in terms of the 3 originals, I really enjoyed the sound. I like the mix they've got, good balance, lots of good cool grooves, but a nice kind of element of kind of proggy technicality in there as well. I'll come back to the cover. What do you think of the originals first?
Very much like yourself, I was in. Like the burning season kicked off, and I was like, all right, death metal, cool, right. Instantly, like right from the off, I was like, good, go, let's do this. Like yourself, I like this kind of brand of death metal. It's modern, it's fresh, it's not too techy. It has an emphasis on the groove. Love me a groove. Savage as fuck. And then out of nowhere, this thing like whipped out its giant veiny death metal dick and then smacked me in the face with some sublime melody that I was not expecting. That I can't stress this enough. It works so fucking well on their sound, like so well. Like, and it's not tonal screamy melody. It's not like Gojira style melody where it's like you're listening, you're going, all right, you're just hitting notes, but you're screaming. This is like full blown melody, which made sense for the Peter Gabriel cover, which comes later on that we're not talking about just now, so we're going to shelve it. It kicked in and instantly was like, oh right, there's more under the hood here. I mean, there's stuff they're hiding. It was excellent though, like its pacing, its switch ups, technique, its ferocity, its melody. It just had me in it, and that production is fucking fire. It's just nice and crisp and punchy and to the point. And then you go into Buyer's Remorse, which is kind of like Flight of the Bumblebee. It's just like really rapid, fucking. It's like really like fucking full on guitar. And when that kicked in, I was like, all right, the melody's going to be shelved now. The band have done their track with the singing, and we're going to get something else. No. Like the midpoint, we get like a huge sprawling section of kind of proggy melody, and once again, it just fucking works. It lands really, really, really strongly, and it grabs your attention and pulls it through. And it shows that it isn't like a one-trick pony EP. You know what I mean? It's like they've got this in the tank, and they can deploy it when they want to, and it just so happens that they deploy it in bits that make me happy. Miss Epidemic, which is track number 3, which I knew I would pronounce right because I have faith in myself and my ability to read. You're welcome. It's a great way to close out the 3 tracks. It kind of has this kind of like really black metal-y sort of build up. It's blackened without being black. It's more to do with the production on it, and it builds up to like this big old fucking like gut punch of a track. It's really, really, really well done. It closes out the 3 in a kind of smart way as well. So you're getting like different elements of the band's sound delivered like how an EP should be done. An EP should never be like, here's 3 songs that would have been like an album, but they didn't make the album, so we're just going to release them ad hoc. This one here has a linear flow, which really, really works with it, which is why the cover works at the end, because the cover is kind of like the closing of, we're putting a stop here. Here's our closing mark. The next thing you hear from us is going to be original content again until we get to another cover. And that's a closing mark, and that element's really, really, really well done. It's also the one that's most like straight down the line. As like a kind of third track. It's the one that kind of plays more to, I imagine, what your average death metal fan kind of wants. If you've thought like the melody's a bit too sell-outy, then you're a moron. But some people are out there like that. This track cuts back to brass tacks. Doesn't mean you don't get melody. There is a kind of almost dark kind of, it's a bit like lead work, and it kind of goes off in this direction. But actually, it works really well into bringing it to a natural close. We mentioned the production already. Production is genuinely immaculate. It is so well done. You pick out fucking everything, and it's not effects and triggers and all the rest. It's just really well produced.
I was going to mention that as well. I think like the production is super punchy, but the recording is very well balanced, which is sometimes the downfall of a lot of these kind of like progressive death metal releases. Because this kind of style is a little bit more intricate. If you don't get that kind of mix and balance spot on, it either becomes really messy or some instruments become really overpowering. But this is really clear, but still really kind of hefty in the riffs department as well.
Balanced, and like the balance is just, it's impeccable. Like you're listening to it and very audible. Like you say, nothing overpowers or overwhelms. It sits so nice all the way right through, and everything is just like is very, very well put together.
Yeah, I love the tones of the kit are spot on, like just really well done, not over processed or like they've been just replaced with samples and stuff. It's still got that kind of natural kind of character to it, which I really liked.
They have that on the bits where like they start picking notes from the chords. They have that Gojira thing where you get that kind of feeling of tonality and emphasis that really, like, you've got these savage chords and then all of a sudden something like progressive and uplifting and movement like kicks in, but it doesn't sound like, oh, we've pushed the pedal, here's the clean bit. It's never like that. It's always got that kind of underlying kind of death metal grit.
Yeah.
So yeah, very much like yourself, the 3 tracks finished, and I was like, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" And yeah, they gave me a Peter Gabriel cover, which I mean, if you want to get lucky with me, Bjorn Grace, this is how you wine and dine me, maybe even 69 me. Phil's on the t-shirt. Like I'm literally wearing the ads. So,
this is an interesting one because
it's a fucking awesome one. So don't hit me with your shit.
No, but it's not the gold. It's not like the most popular Peter Gabriel track. Like you'd expect, like if you're going Peter Gabriel, it's going to be Sledgehammer because obviously that's like his biggest track. But they went for something from his first album, as you say, from like late 70s. I think it was the last track.
Dave. 77.
Last track on the album.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that's an interesting one. Even
had you heard it before, or was this?
I had heard it before.
Right, excellent. See, this is why we're friends.
Yeah. But it was again just kind of unexpected when I went back and I looked at that album. I was like, there's bigger tracks even on that album. Like Salisbury Hill was probably one of the bigger tracks from that album.
It's the one where he was just like, look at me, Jenna who?
So yeah, an interesting choice. But what did we make of their interpretation of the Peter Gabriel track? I thought they kept the first couple of minutes kind of similar to the original.
They do. I honestly thought, is this just going to be a clean interval? I was kind of disheartened a little bit because it goes quite a bit into the track before it then all of a sudden. So it's almost as if like the band are like, they're playing and like the singer's looking at the guitars going like, "You're going to press that pedal?" And he's like, he's fucking doing the things. Oh, I shit. Fucking jum. It goes on longer than I expected.
Yeah, it does.
Cleanly.
It does.
And I actually think, if anything, that's what makes it work. Because there's a lot of bands that try and heavy up a cover, and they don't do that. They give you a slightly darker interpretation of a track that you're familiar with, almost as if it was playing over a trailer. You know how that the predominance now for trailers is to pick like some sort of pop song that's kind of happy, but play it in minor chords. This could be on the new Batman movie, right? Just fucking play Here Comes the Flood, right? But I did it, like, it builds up a particular way where I was like, oh, right, so we're just getting like a dark, melodic, brooding version of this. And then they were like, distortion, death metal.
Jesus Christ, it's like almost into like Death Doom territory.
Oh, like, yes, it's doomy as fuck.
Yeah. Until the drums do go double time at one point, but like up until that point, I was like, okay, this is a lot slower than I was expecting. As I say, it's got a more kind of doomy kind of feel to it. It's still reminiscent of the original in some ways. The original had a moody kind of undertone to it. But this
it didn't have guitar chords that went.
No, it did not. This is like utterly dripping in misery and really like dissonant guitars.
Oh man!
Even
amazing.
Like towards the end, it even goes a bit kind of black metal towards the end.
Yeah.
Which I was like, all right, okay, here we go. But the only thing that I didn't like about it is I felt like it faded out really quickly at the end.
You have a fucking hard on for hard fades. Sorry,
Too quick.
You really do.
It was too quick. It felt rushed. That the end part was like, all right, okay, it's over. Okay, that was my only criticism of it. I felt like it faded out a little bit quick. There's maybe, I don't know if there's a reason for that. I'm not entirely sure.
For all you know, in the context of the album, that quick fade is followed by something that builds right in really quick.
This is the thing though, is the covers on the album or are they just part of the EPs?
Interesting point, Dave.
Thank you.
But like, as someone, it's a lot of work to go to promote something digitally, but also honour those that want physical releases by removing elements of the releases here.
Well, it said in the press release, it said an exclusive cover, which makes me think it might be.
Oh well, if it said exclusive, I misheard that bit.
An EP thing.
Lisa, Dave didn't read it right, so had he read it right, I wouldn't have said what I said.
But I did enjoy it, and I'm interested to see what cover they go with next on the next EP.
It'll be Phil Collins, won't it?
Easy Lover. I'm in.
Invisible Touch, dude.
What?
I can't dance. I can't talk. The only thing about me here the way.
No.
Something happened on the way to heaven. I mean, we could just keep shouting them out here if you want.
I mean,
Susudio?
Oh, Susudio, here we go. Here we're talking.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I did enjoy the cover. I liked their interpretation of it. So, in terms of the EP itself, what we're thinking score-wise for this EP?
Big old 4 from me, Dave.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Yeah.
See, twinsies.
Yeah, good playing, great variety throughout. The 3 originals I thought were really good. An easy spin as well at 20 minutes.
Okay, that's a call that I will take any day of the week.
100%. But also one that I'm like, okay, I'm interested to hear this next installment. I want to hear where they're going to go next with this, because the 3 originals were really cool. The cover was cool as well. But I want to see what they're going to do next. Like, what is going to be kind of thrown into the mix here on this next EP. So I'm down for the next one. Beyond Grace, I am down for the next one. So it's a 4 out of 5 for me as well.
Nice.
So that EP drops on November 24th. Links below to the Facebook, to the pre-order, all that sort of stuff. Check it out. I'll put a link to the single as well down there. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Happy to hear your thoughts on it. That is a review of the new EP from Beyond Grace. We'll be back with another review very soon, but until then, take care, stay out of prison, I'll speak to you soon.
Come on, there you go, yay!